6. Man Toga, SRS runway, all thrust is loose. 80 knots, thrust set. 5500. 3 warp. Rotate.
Well, hello, what is going on, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. A happy Halloween to all you who are out there dressing up and doing all the Halloween things. Haven't done that in quite some time, but hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday afternoon. It's a beautiful day here in North Texas. It's about 72 degrees outside right now. Beautiful day over here on the western coastline of the United States as well, California. We're taking off where we left off in our KingAir 350. Huge shout out to Mateo Chewy for, number one, showing me what the FTsim sound pack sounded like, because I picked up the FTsim sound pack and it has completely changed the way I feel about this airplane as far as immersion level. It's not perfect, but it is worlds better than the default. So if you have this airplane, if you're thinking about getting this airplane, add $5 to that total because you're going to need to get the sound pack. It really makes this airplane a little bit more immersive. Not perfect, not Airfoil Labs level like we saw in X-Plane 11, but very good. Combine that with this juicy livery that he converted for me. I think this is actually like was this a Brazilian or something? Oh no, Jamaican? I'm bad with my South African, South African Air Force livery here, but this is almost identical to November 200 Alpha Fox that I used to fly around a little bit, which was a 200 variant of the KingAir. It's got pretty much the same colors and the same striping, so it just brings back some memories. I showed you some pictures there on that countdown screen. You got to see it. But look at this, Migs kicking off the stream already with 5 gifted subs. Absolutely awesome, guys. If you picked up a gifted sub from Mr. Migs, make sure you shout out, give him a thank you. Make sure you hit the exclamation point welcome command so you can get Nightbot's information for what you need to do to get all your membership perks here at the channel. Couldn't be more happy to have you guys with me and the support that you guys give. Thank you again, Migs, for another massive 5 gifted sub for everybody here on the channel. Today, I'm actually very, very excited about this stream. I was sitting here, I was like, man, what am I going to do today? Are we going to fly Airbus today? But then I was like, you know what? I really wanted to do the KingAir again. And as I was kind of like beep-booping around the office here, I have my old flight bag, and I was going through it, and I actually found some of my old SOPs and all my old checklists and stuff. And I have a video of me doing a originating and receiving flow in the KingAir. Actually, it was in the 99 because we went through the turboprop transition. Everybody learned on the 99 first. And unfortunately, I don't have it on this PC, but I'm going to try to get that uploaded, and then I'll share it with you, my members and stuff. It's just kind of cool to see it all work out. But, man, unfortunately, we have our props that are they are fully forward. They should be feathered right now. Oh, well, that's just I think it's just a startup glitch for some reason in this Blacksquare. But once you shut down properly, they do feather. Let's see, what do we got? Al W, what's up, man? KingAir says was one of the first things I flew back in the FS2000 days. Oh, yes, indeed, man. I remember the KingAir and FS2000 as well. It's just this airplane is a lot of fun, and the latest and greatest update that we have on this airplane, it flies pretty darn good. I'm actually pretty impressed with it. It feels really good. It's not too twitchy. I'll go over some of my settings as well on the yoke setting. Actually, I'll go ahead and just show you that right now so you see what I'm rocking. I can always screenshot it and pin it later. But my latest and greatest setup for the TCA Boeing yoke, I'm using the Boeing yoke for this airplane. And I know it's kind of, people want to, it's kind of, it's not really, it's not supposed to be pendular, but I still think it's worth it. So I am rocking for pitch and roll, pretty much straight linear, and I have some extremity dead zones in there. Okay, so basically that just limits the extreme zone of the axes, and right about 26 and 39, that's what I'm rocking right now, and it seems to be pretty darn buttery smooth. So play around with that if you think it's a little too twitchy or whatnot, but I think as of right now, that's what I'm rocking, and it feels pretty darn good. So ACV has some hazy METAR. Oh, it does, Super Cal. So yes, this you're down the ramp for me, Team Vodka? Oh, nice. There he is over there. Awesome. Team Vodka is going to be flying along with us up to Arcata, California. So this route we're going to be doing today is a real-world route that I used to fly as well. So we just fly in here and check this out, guys. So I remember I mentioned the donut shop that we walked to. So we park right here at Ukiah, and then you walk out on the airport fence, and you come all the way down this road. I actually found it to Sonny's Donut Shop right here. This is actually Sonny's Donut Shop. I know it's got the Microsoft blah blah blahs around here, but it's got a DirecTV edition. This building is actually where Sonny's Donuts is, and I remember it now because I was messing around in a drone cam. And let me zoom out. It's basically a beam the taxiway here to get on the runway. So we would park our airplanes here in the morning. We'd get in around, I think, 7 or 8 in the morning. We just get in pretty early. We'd walk out, wait for the cargo, and we get along Airport Road here, and we walk down and go to Sonny's Donuts. So it's pretty cool to see that. So after we got our donuts and coffee fuel, we'd head back to the airplane and we'd fire up and head over to Arcata. Now, a couple of cool things about Arcata, California. It actually has one of the original instrument landing system approaches in the U.S., and it's an extremely long ILS if you look at it. It's a really long approach going in there, and that's for testing purposes and test beds, and it's since been shortened up. But what I used to do real world is fly the ILS. If the weather was bad, I'd fly the ILS until I could break out, and then we'd do a special VFR down to to Eureka, which is only just a few miles south of Arcata. So what we're going to do today is we're going to fly up there, we'll do the approach, we'll do a touch and go, and then we'll break off. We'll either do a touch and go, or we'll just break off the approach like I used to, and we'll fly down the coastline and then land in Eureka, which is where we would end up parking the airplane. I think it was a cheaper landing fee and all that stuff. So it would used to be me, Piper Chieftain. I would fly the Chieftain up there. I'd fly the KingAir up there. And every now and then there was a United Express Brasilia. I believe it was SkyWest that would also fly up there with us. So just a good old trip down memory lane for today. So I hope you guys are excited. We're going to fly round gauge, basically needle, VOR, all the way up there. No GPS required, no GPS needed. So it should make for a fun learning a fun, what am I trying to say? Educational stream. So anyway, hope you guys are ready. We get Amp Flight Daily here in Cincinnati and TVP. Oh yeah, they run the 1900. Yes, indeed they do. Awesome stuff, Mikey D. Anything in particular to watch out for the route today that might be a challenge? You know, on this particular route, the biggest concern, oops, let me get into the cockpit here. The biggest thing that you always be concerned about was mountain obscuration. So whether it's because of haze or because of smoke. I used to fly up here. There was a couple of major fires up here in Northern California where we actually couldn't see the airport almost all the way down to minimums because of smoke. The smoke was so thick. So but that's really, other than that, you're just worrying about high terrain and mountain obscuration, maybe some icing, but in KingAir we'll get up above it. We're gonna go to high cruise altitude today. We're gonna go at 16.5, which is pretty darn high. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a way of getting my map, my SkyVector map up unless I keep toggling it. We just have to take my word for it what the VORs we're gonna pick up. I hope we can get some. I see the future of like of Navigraph. Is very VFR friendly, so it would be cool if we can have that, and I could show you like airways and stuff. But I'm going to be just kind of referencing my SkyVector chart so we can fly up there the way we used to go. Basically, we're going to take off. It's visual. We'll intercept the radial, fly northbound, and then into Arcata. You feel so educated right now. Jeff, what's up, man? How many years did you fly the KingAir? David Isaac, I didn't fly just specifically the KingAir. So basically, it was the Beech 99 was the bulk of my time. So I flew the B models and C models. Then I did some Part 91 stuff in a 90 KingAir, and then a select few of us got to fly a 200, which was it wasn't used for freight. It was used for basically executive transport for the most part. And I got, I don't know, less than a dozen hours in the actual KingAir 200, but the bulk of my time is the 99, and then a little bit of the C90. But essentially, the 99 is probably the closest comparable to like of my bulk time because it's basically a 200 without pressurization, and the 200 is basically a 350 with some changes to, you need a type rating obviously, and then of course the power of the engines. Most of the changes, ironically, come right down here in the environmental and pressurization panel, and down here you got rudder boost, electric trim, and all that. Well, you had some of that in the 92, but basically, I mean, once you fly one KingAir, you've pretty much flown all the KingAirs except the 350. I've full disclosure, never flown the 350 in particular. So if you're a KingAir guy, you'll probably see some bleed over or some stuff that I'm doing from either my principle of primacy was the 99. So you see some old Beechcraft stuff probably coming into the 350. You're like, why is he doing that? Doesn't need to do it. It's just because I never flew the 350 specifically. But enough of that. Let's get the airplane fired up, shall we? So I was looking at my flows down here. Basically, we used to come down here. We'll turn the battery on. And so we go battery on. I hate that click spot on that. We'll go battery on. And then we would come up here, and if you had to do the fuel quantity test, you could do the fuel quantity test for the first flight of the day or something like that. But I don't even remember how to do that. We used to come here. We used to like flip this pump on, check the cross fleet flow, check the light that it would extinguish, all that. Then we would turn these off. You can hear the motor kind of cut out. Make sure all your circuit breakers were in. We would check the inverter lights on the 99s. I don't even know if they are. It's not the same here. Yeah, you don't even see it. So the inverter light, you wouldn't have to worry about that. Checking all the basic switches here. Everything is in the down position, off. Nav light's on. Nav light pretty much stayed on all the time. Beacon is off. Gear lever is down. We are idle forward cut off. Trims are centered. Everything looks good here. Let's go ahead and flip on the master power switch. Go ahead and clear the warning and caution. Get rid of that. We'll set up our cruise altitude. I said we're going at 16.5 today, so we'll set 16,500. Nope. There we go. 16.5 is set. Now, real quick, we need to dial in our VOR. So nav 1, we're going to intercept the Mendocino VOR, which is 112.3. So I'm going to set 112.3 right here. Put that in the top. And then eventually we're going to intercept the Arcata VOR inbound, which is 15.05. So I'll put that in standby 1, 15.05 here. And then we don't have the 2 set up just yet, so that's fine. Am I drawing a blank here? Where the heck is nav 2? Nav 1, nav 2. Oh, it's because we're sitting on a battery bus right now. Ours were actually, I didn't even have these digital ones in most of the airplanes. We just had the old coffee grinders, which weren't digital at all. But we got 1505 in the backup, 12.3 setup, and we also know we're going to intercept a radial outbound to intercept the airway, which is going to be the 330. So we'll set our course line on 330. That is set. And we'll go ahead and turn off the avionics master switch. We would turn off the battery switch, go back outside, make sure all the chocks cones have been pulled. Everything looks good on the outside. And then we'll get our clearance. Looks like this guy's starting up over here. That's awesome. And then we'll go. Let me get my Navigraph synced up here real quick. Thanks for the streams. Happy to be a member. Jamie Wilson. Thank you so much, man, for your continued support. 2 months. The badges are looking good on you, my friend. Oops, that's not the one I wanted. But glad you're enjoying the content. I think I got to do a resync here, don't I? Oh, nope, we got it. So basically, I'm just going to import a flight manually. I didn't even do it from SimBrief. So this is our manual flight import. We're going from KUKI, which is Ukiah, and then we're going to ACV is what we're being filed to. Our alternate will be KEKA. That's just a VFR alternate for semantics, and that is good. So we'll do that, and then I don't want to auto-generate. I want to do it myself. So you can see here, we're going to insert type route. So we're going to go, let me pull up the actual route so you could see it here. It's going to be Endocino, which is ENI. So we'll do ENI, and then it's Plyat, I believe. Or Victor 607 to Plyat. Victor 607. Oh, dang it. Victor 607. Oh, my goodness. Space. Victor 607. Plyat. Will that take? Save. There we go. So that's our route. You can see it right here. And since we're VFR, we don't actually have to fly over to Mendocino. We can just kind of set up a VFR heading, and we'll intercept. This is the high-end route. We need the low-end route chart. So here's our low-end route chart. Victor 607 is the 330 radial outbound. And we're going to take that to Plyat intersection, which we'll be able to identify by the inbound. And from experience, we should be able to pick up the Arcata VOR well before Plyat. So we might even just cut the corner and go direct to. Chris Duper, good morning, sir. Welcome. Welcome to the stream, my friend. We're doing a little bit of premium freight flying today. I'm excited for you guys to hear the sounds of this airplane. So that's our route of flight. That's good. We'll put that away for now. We're going to taxi out. I believe, what's that runway? 15 out there, or 9? We're going to taxi. We'll get the ATIS here. Let's hit the magic barrel ref key when we get started up, and pretty much all ready to go. So you guys ready? So for audio purposes, that comes on, and let's go ahead and do a startup. So battery switch will come on. Avionics master is off. Inverter's off. Beacon light will come on. Confirm we are idle. Forward cutoff on the console there. It was feather cutoff, so we're idle forward cutoff. Everything else looks good. We'll clear the warning and caution. And we are clear on the right, turning 2. So let's go ahead and turn engine 2. Enjoy the startup sounds. Waiting for stable at 12%. There it is. Low idle. ITT rise. Make sure we don't exceed the starter limitation. Ooh, you just barely did. There's our ITT rollback. 50% starter cutoff. Here comes our prop. And we'll go high idle. Stable above 70%. Gen 2 on and reset. Come up here, we'll check our right generator loads and amps, and we'll check our battery. Make sure it's been charged, which it is, so we're looking good. Listen to these sounds though. All right, we got a good start on number 2. We're going to do a battery start on number 1 now. We'll go ahead and close this window. Do this one with the windows closed. And turn 1. There's our RPMs on the rise. 12% fuel, low idle. There's our light off, fuel flow's on the rise, ITT's on the rise, prop is on the rise. Monitor that ITT there. Ooh, that's a hot start. That's pretty dang close. I think there's a timing limitation there. Comes our rollback. 50% starter off. Stable at 60%. Left generator on. Right engine back to low idle. And we'll go inverters. Avionics master. I'm trying to see why our props are a little bit off sync here. See, our prop RPM on number 1 is a little bit lower than number 2. If I didn't know this was FTsim, I would have suspected Boris was at work. I know, the only problem I have now is like this inside volume is pretty loud. It almost sounds like the window is still open, but there we go. If you go outside view and come back in, it's not as bad. Let's see if we... Yeah, it's not quite Boris level, but it is much better, right? All right, let's go Magic Barrel Ref Key, 29 or 9 or 8 is set once and twice. That looks good. We know we're going 112.3 is set. After start checklist, what we're going to do now, we're going to go, that's going to come on. We'll go environmental on, blowers in auto. We don't need any heaters on there. Everything looks good on that side. So we're going to come down here and we'll go rudder boost, electric trim is on. Make sure our pressurization is set for this particular flight, which we are going up to 16.5. So we will get a slight pressurization on this one. So remember, aircraft altitude is the inside needle. So there's 17,000 and there's 16,000. So 16.5, since we are technically on a VFR flight plan at 16.5, we'll set it right in the middle. Our cabin is going to pressurize right about 500 feet. So not a lot of pressurization, but we are going to have some pressurization on this flight. This also allows us to fly at that altitude, 135. If we did not have a pressurization, we would need to bring supplemental oxygen, or we'd be flying at a lower altitude, sub 10,000 feet, which can also be done on this particular route. But because this airplane's so powerful, we're going to take it all the way up. Everything else looks good down here. And now let's get ready to taxi out. No flaps are required for takeoff. So let's see. Let's make a little radio call here, and let's make sure we are on Unicom. 120. 122.8 is set. So we're up here at the north ramp. We're going to taxi to 15. I guess technically we could get the ATIS. I'm just curious what the ATIS sounds like. Now in real life we'd be taxiing out of here already. We wouldn't be hanging around the ramp with our engine started. But now I'm taking a pause. I want to see 119.275. Not picking it up. Mateo Chewy has gifted 5 subs already. Absolutely fantastic, Mateo Chewy. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Guys, if you picked up a gifted sub from Mateo, make sure you give him a shout out. Mateo, I can't thank you enough, man, for the livery you got here. It's calm wind, so we're going to go off 15. I can't thank you enough for the livery you got set up. It's pretty sweet, man. It's definitely nostalgic, so thank you so much, my friend. And thank you for your support. Ukiah traffic, Amflight 17, or correction, Amflight 202, we're going to be taxiing on 15, Ukiah. All right, so brakes release, taxi light on. Let's see if we can make a tight turn here. Let's drop number 2 into beta reverse, and we'll start number 1. see if we can make a tight turn here. Whoa, that was aggressive. We got it though. Alright, so he's taxiing out. We'll cut him off. So I've been very impressed with the latest update on this airplane as far as the flight model feels and everything. So I'm actually, I would recommend this airplane. I would definitely recommend this airplane for those that maybe been eyeing it, thinking about picking it up. In my opinion, it's definitely worth it. So in real life here, these lights aren't here. We would sit up here and do just a slight run up. Now, in the real world operation that I did coming out of this airport, this was leg 2, so we didn't have to do all of our run-up checks. We would do an abbreviated run-up. The auto feather check is not part of the abbreviated run-up, but if you guys missed it, I kind of want to go through the sounds again here. So we would go high idle. I'm just going to do a quick auto feather test here. So we're going to go high idle, props are full forward, and let's go auto feather arm, because I remember what the RPM is. 1700 maybe. Oh no, that's not auto feather. Oops, test. There we go. Auto feather is test. Now we'll bring number 1 back. And she feathers. Listen to that. That's cool. All right, bring it back up. Once it gets above 1700, nope, we got auto feather lights back on for 2. So now we'll bring number 2 back. Auto feather for 1 goes out because you don't want to feather a good engine. Number 2 is feathering. So we'll bring this one back out. Bring it back to idle. Let's go back to low idle on the condition levers. Auto feather can go arm. Ignition can go arm. We'll get our lights on. And we'll do our hot 5 on the pitot heats. Fuel 1, 2, 3, 4. Stall warning. Hot 5 is on. And we need to go. Transfer fuel is boom, boom. Lights are out, ready to go. Let's do it. We're gonna go over the feather in cruise because that's a great topic for discussion. So brakes released, and let's go. We'll go over what auto feather is and what feathering is in general up at cruise. Ukiah traffic, Flight 202, departing runway 15. We're going to be a left downwind departure out to the northwest, Ukiah traffic. I want to make sure, is this actually bound? Yeah, it is bound. All right, cool. I almost ripped the guys on the ramp. Yeah, so we would actually turn the airplane if we did a run up there in Ukiah, so you weren't right on the ramp. All right, so one thing let's go over this real quick. For takeoff in a turboprop, more specifically the KingAir, there are several limiting factors to how you set power. This is not an Airbus where you just set it and forget it, go Toga or flex. You do not have any FADEC control. So there are 2 limiting factors. Number 1, most common, is the ITT limited, depending on the ambient conditions. So the hotter it is, you're probably going to be ITT limited. So the ITT limit for this particular KingAir with the engines looks to be 825C? 820, 50, 75, no, that's going to be 810, 20, 30, 40, I don't know, 815, just over 800C. So just over 800C times 100, so 8100. No, it's not times 1, I don't know, whatever that is, just over 800, maybe 820C, 815C. That's your limit, number 1. And today, it's nice and cool. We are not going to be ITT limited, which I don't know if that would be true in real life. I wonder if this could be tweaked a little bit more. We should do a test with a hot ambient condition to see if we actually get limited. But that is your limit, number 1. So always be monitoring your ITT. If you're not ITT limited, you are then going to be what we call torque limited. So you can see here percent torque. This is basically your power setting. 100 is the max. Now you can go above 100. It is very easy to go above 100. This is commonly referred to over torquing the engine. Not good. you will get damage and it will fail your engines. You can see here I've been really good to mine. I've got 98, 97% on my engines, but if you over torque your engines, you are essentially damaging them internally, and they are very expensive to fix, and it is a very easy thing to do. So ITTs you're checking here, torques and temps, right? So torques and temps. Make sure your torques are below 100. Make sure your temps are below red line. Now the other technique for setting power, you have propeller governors here on your engine. So you see prop RPM. When you add torque, these RPMs are going to spool up. You don't want to jam the torque forward, because what's going to happen is it's kind of like, basically like, see if you're in a bicycle in first gear and then you just like went to third gear, it's going to really kind of stress those governors out, because it's going to feel the load as these props are spooling up. So there's a tendency you can overspin the props too, but the governor will do its work. But you always want to try to be nice. You want to be nice to your engines, right? They take care of you, you take care of them. So also kind of monitor your prop RPM. Wait for them to stabilize on the governor before setting your takeoff torque. Typically, if you stand it up around 40 to 50%, you're going to be okay. You can you'll watch them bounce off the needles here, that you can set your torque based on ITT or here. Now, for us specifically, we actually used to have a reduced torque takeoff procedure in our SOP. It was removed. I think it was removed right towards the end of my tenure when I was flying freight. But we actually could do reduced torque takeoffs between like 70 and 80% torque, because these engines on these PT6s, or these PT6s on these KingAirs and Beaches, they are so powerful, you don't even need 100% torque. Very rarely do you need 100% torque, unless of course you're operating in an environment that does. Swiss Alps or high altitude, high density altitude. On a general low altitude, lightweight flight, you don't even need anywhere near 100% torque. So if you're kind of having a hard time managing all of this, consider doing a reduced torque takeoff, maybe set it at 80%, and then everything will happen a little bit slower for you. There's more on that procedure later. But anyway, that's enough talk. Let's actually take off. We're going to do a left downwind departure. So we're going to come all the way back around to heading 330 on departure. We're going to do a left 180. Everything is set. Are you guys ready? I am ready. Why is overtorque permitted if it can damage the engines? It's not permitted, it's prohibited, but the only way to prohibit it is to not do it. Okay, you have to actually be a pilot with these airplanes, and the way that this particular engine is designed, the free-floating turbine, you can absolutely over-torque it. So, here we go, brakes released. Let's spool it up. Now watch, I'm going to do this zoomed in view, because it's actually modeled pretty well. So keep an eye on my props. So here goes my turbine RPMs coming up. Look at my prop needles. See how fast they're coming up? See how nice that was? And they stopped right there? That was perfect. So that was about 25-30% torque. Watch, I'm going to spool them down. And now I'm going to do it the incorrect way. And watch what happens to my props here on the governor. So here we go. I'm going to spool them up the improper way, or the too fast of a push-up on the throttle. Oh, I actually have a yoke cam too. But it doesn't have... oh, what happened to my yoke cam? It's all like... You're looking at the wrong thing there. There we go. Let me fix that. Sorry, guys. So now here's the improper way of spooling it up. If I just would have go too quick on the condition levers, or excuse me, power levers, look at my props. Look at that. Look at that. See how they bounced off the governor? That's a no-no. That's a no-no. That's a good way to fail a check ride, fail a check, anything like that. You do not want to bounce your props off the governors. I'm showing you these little things here because these are little details. I'm getting cramps in my calves for holding the brakes for so long. These are little details that are modeled in this airplane that I think would go unnoticed unless someone is actively showing you and demonstrating this. So I just thought that was a really cool detail by Blacksquare, how they've got that properly simulated. So keep an eye on this when you set power, all right? Okay, this has been the longest takeoff brief ever. Let's go ahead and actually take off. Brakes released. Let's go. Yeah, everything happens a little bit slower in this airplane. All right, remember, we're going to be nice and easy with the torque. Let those propeller RPMs come up. There they go. And now we can set power. So now I'm looking at ITT, which doesn't really seem to move as much as I would hope. So continue setting power, continue setting power. And right about there, power is set, right about 98%, almost 100%. Look at our airspeed, we're at 100 knots, rotate. See how you don't need that 100% power? Nice and smooth rotation. Positive rate. Gear up. Fly with. Trim it out, trim it out. And there's 400 feet. Let's start the left turn to 330. Initially, Ukiah traffic cam flight 202. We're on a left crosswind departure, headed to the northwest at a 1.3. Last call, Ukiah. 160 knots. I think it's actually 140 knots.
Traffic, KingAir, November 7,
350.
Departing 15, left down.
All right, so after takeoff, eyes come back to your T's and P's, right? Temps, torque, props. As we reach 1,000 feet, we're going to actually reduce power. I'm going to do 180 knots on this initially here, just because you want. Typically, this was the last leg, and we don't want to climb out of the X. So we'll do 180 knots. All right, here comes 1,000 feet above the ground, or excuse me, 1,500 feet at a traffic pattern altitude. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce torque. I'm going to bring it back to about 90%. Now I'm going to bring my props back, 1,900. The reason you do torque first is because as you bring props back, the torque will increase. So if you left your torque at 100% and you brought the props back for climb out, you would actually over-torque the engine. All right, so we're about 1,900 there, 90% on the torque. ITTs look good. We're 330. This is the needle we need to intercept, so let's go ahead and come further left. Let's make about let's do a 300 heading. You can see our course deviation needle is already coming in. And there goes Ukiah off our left wing. Pretty sweet, huh? Man, flying this airplane, it really brings me back. All right, so about 300-ish on the heading is what we're going to fly. So I'll set 300 on the heading bug there. And we're looking to intercept this course right here, which is the 330. Now, for some reason, I'm getting a little bit of left roll in this KingAir, and that's not really realistic. So I'm going to add a little bit of right roll trim. Was that rudder trim or roll trim? Oh, that was roll trim. So a little bit of right roll trim there to cancel out that left bank. I don't even almost need just one tick there. Out of 5,000 feet, we're trimmed out for 180 knots. Torques and temps, torques and temps. We're 700. Depending on your SOP, you probably have specific temps that they want you to fly so you can reduce wear and tear on the engine. 700C is 710. I think there's actually some in the Blacksquare PDF, but right now we're doing about 710 on the temp. Our torque it's come back a little bit, so we're right about 90-ish percent, 1,900 RPM. Out of 5.8, we're trimmed out beautifully. Here we go. How much rudder are you using? Right now, I'm not using hardly any rudder right now. So on the takeoff roll, you're going to be using a little bit of rudder. I don't know if that's really modeled awesomely. You would have to speak specifically to a 350 pilot on that, because the 350's got some extra juice when it comes to rudder input, like the rudder boost and all that stuff. So, but on the ground roll, I feel like I didn't use enough rudder, but it's been over a decade since I've flown any PT6, KingAir, or D99 or anything. So my memory is kind of gone on that, but you'd have to ask some real KingAir drivers what they feel about the takeoff roll. How do you know how much to trim? You want to basically be able to, you're trimming for an airspeed. So I thought I was trimming for 180. I seem to trim about 175 knots, but that's fine. Here comes our turn. We'll come to the right. Basically what you want to do is you want to set the speed that you want to climb out at. You're trimming for an airspeed. You're not trimming for a pitch attitude. Set your power, pitch for an airspeed, and then trim the control pressures off the yoke. That's how it would be done in real life. With the TCA yoke and the Honeycomb Bravo throttle with the movable trim wheel, it actually allows you to do that, which is pretty phenomenal. All right, so there we go. We're turning on course now, 330. You can see we are 12 miles from the VOR. We're at an 8.8. And we're just going to keep hand flying this sucker up. Let's come down here, verify that we are pressurizing. Oops, not down there, over here. Be my FO, I can't quite see it. Let me. Okay, so we have do you have pneumatic pressure? Where is? Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, I remember now. One of the worst positions ever for this gauge. It's always hidden by the control levers. So here we go. We are pressurizing. You can see we are pressurizing. That's good. We're at a 10,000 feet. So this is an SOP thing, but for us, 10,000 feet, a couple things happen. First things first, we'll get rid of our landing, we'll get rid of our taxi, we'll get rid of the ice lights, the recogs, and the tail flood will come off. So those lights are off. We're going to go ahead and turn the auto ignition off, and we're going to go ahead and turn the auto feather off. You're going to get a master caution light. Clear the caution, that's associated. We're at a 10.4, climbing to 16.5 at 180 knots. I am using the fall foliage. That is Rex. I believe that was Rex AccuSeasons, and I imported a actual one. So I normally leave my Rex on. I normally leave my Rex on the auto season, but I was messing around with it before the stream, and I put it to. I believe I put it to not rust. I'll have to check. But yeah, you have a nice fall look to the trees down there. And I know I've been talking a ton right here, and we didn't really hardly. I didn't hardly answer any of your questions in chat, but now that we're calming back down, I can get back to your questions in chat. So that was kind of a fire hose of stuff happening. So now we can probably go ahead and pitch a little bit faster. There is in the 350, there is an actual like climb profile that will fly, and you can see here as we're climbing up. Look what's happening to our torque. You see our torque is dropping off. This is the great part about turboprops and turbocharging in general. So now I can add power, I can get more torque. I'm still within limits. Look at my ITTs, do about 92% torque in the climb out. That's going to help my performance. So this goes hand in hand with like being over torquing on the ground. If I can reach let's say I can reach 110% torque on the ground on that particular day, when I'm climbing out at altitude, that means I'm going to have that much more torque to use for performance in the climb out. So because as I climb, that torque is going to drop off, but if I've got more power in the engines, which these we do, I can keep adding torque to keep that performance up and really get good performance out of the airplane. All right, so we're still doing good. We're 180 knots. And this light over here signifies it's a little bit cool in the cabin, which is interesting. So let's just go to, we'll go furnace on, we'll do cabin master on, and we'll go aft blower and electric heat. And we probably need to put this to auto, man heat. Let's see if that warms up. Oh. Get back on course here. Yeah, we stayed away from the trees today, though, huh? Wasn't that good? We could probably actually turn on autopilot now. What I'll do here is we'll come down to the autopilot panel. We'll go yaw damper. We'll go IAS hold, and we'll do alt. Oh no, alt select. I screwed it up. I put it in alt cap mode. We'll go 16.5. And quickly come down here, we'll go IAS hold, alt select. That didn't work. IAS hold. And altitude is armed. So now we're doing a 200 knot climb out, which is fine. Furnace, yeah, that's what it sounds like. Now I gotta remember how to do this here. Cabin temp, we need to increase the cabin temp. I'm actually gonna go auto. So this should be auto. We'll go low. That's manual. We don't want to do that. So that's on. Furnace is on. Oh. There we go. Helps if you actually turn them on. There we go. Now we're going to start warming up, hopefully. 1,000 feet to level off. We can also set 1505 over here. You can see our altitude alert is going off. Nav 2 looks like it's already picking up. There's our cool light went out, so now we've actually warmed up the cabin. Flip the prop sync switch. Yeah, we'll do prop sync at cruise. So we would only use prop sync if it was working at cruise. Unfortunately, the sound is not really match the props in this sound pack, I've noticed. But see, I can manually set my prop sync up, so now we're pretty much synced. We'll talk about prop sync here in a minute. Getting ready to level off. Beautiful. Let me go back to live cam, so get rid of that little yoke cam there. Eric M. Gaming, welcome to the stream, my friend. Furnace, is that what it sounds like? Maze, yes, it is a heater. It's an actual heater. A Janitrol heater, I believe. No, that depends on what airplane you're in, but yes, it is an actual heater. All right, we're leveling at 16.5. Now, because this is a shorter flight, and while we're here, let's go ahead and go nav mode. Boom. So now we're going to actually track this needle. So we are flight director, nav, altitude is engaged, the autopilot is on. It's making a little bit of a correction there so we can maintain this 330 course. As our speed increases, we're going to go for a quiet cruise. So remember, we do torque before props. So powering down, you go left to right. Powering up, you go right to left. This is very basic mixture prop control that you learn at your at the PPL level. This is, you're just applying it to a very expensive Super KingAir 350. Now in the Super and in most KingAirs and pretty much every KingAir that I flew, low idle you don't really mess with. We're going to just keep low idle at low idle, high idles for a couple other things which we've already talked about on this channel. But powering down, we do left to right because and let's see if we can model that here. So I'm going to bring the torque back. Let's bring the torque back to 80%. Or whatever that is, so 75%. Okay, now as I bring the props back, we should see an increase in torque. Look at that. Oh, you see it want to jump there? See, that's not quite that jumpy in real life, but you see what I mean. As you bring the props back, the torque will increase. So we're going to do a quiet cruise, which is going to be 1600 RPM, or like 1650. And that's right there at about 80% torque. Let me try to sync up number one. It's close enough. Engines are independent of each other. They will probably have slightly different readouts. You might have a little bit of a split forming here. That's normal. And now with L power set, let's go ahead and go prop sync on. And there we go. We're cruising at 220 knots at 16,500 feet. Eric says, been streaming your past streams on the hotel TV when I'm not at the racetrack. Been fun, relaxing too, and learning. That's awesome, Eric. Glad you enjoy it, my friend. Glad you enjoy it, man. Thank you. Look at that beautiful view out the left-hand side. All right, so to make my life easier for flying to Arcata, we're actually going to do a VOR transfer early. So let's just say we're on, and there's actually some clouds up here. Let's just say Oakland Center came on and said, Flight 202, can you accept direct to Arcata, Arcata right now? And Arcata is this VOR over here, ACV. And why the controller would ask you if you can accept it is because we are not a GPS-equipped aircraft. We actually have to have a navigation signal to accept a direct to. In this particular case, you could see here my nav 2. We've got the flag has gone away. This glide slope flag wouldn't be here in real life. And we've got a strong TO signal. So yes, Oakland Center Flight 202, we can accept direct Arcata. Flight 202, roger, proceed direct to Arcata VOR. So how do we switch VORs? What I like to do is I'm going to go heading mode first, so I sync my heading bug. We are in heading mode. Let's come down here. Let's select heading so the airplane doesn't turn. Now let's flip our nav course over, 1505. And you can see here, we're a little bit off on the OBS. That's why we use heading mode, because if we weren't, the airplane would start a turn. It could start S-turning, and it would be it wouldn't be very fun for the passengers to start S-turning. Once I sync my OBS up right now let's go right back down here and select nav. Live and die by our FMA. We are flight director nav out. Autopilot is engaged. We are proceeding direct to nav 2. And look, we barely made a little 5-degree bank turn to the left to intercept the direct 2 because we use that method. If you don't go to heading mode first, the airplane's going to start teeter-tottering left and right on you. Mike P. My goodness, my friend. Let's go. Let's go back here real quick. Let's go outside view. Let's enjoy some views now. And let's actually get back to the chat. I actually like looking at the coastline over here. Let me turn the sim way down. Well, not off. So, there we go. It's as simple as that. I've been talking nonstop since the beginning of the stream. I think I've read 3 chat messages. I apologize for that. But that's kind of what these, I feel like the guys that tune in, guys and gals, anybody who tunes in on today's streams like today, you're the most hardcore viewers of the channel, because this is a very information overload type stream. And unfortunately, it has to be that way because there's so much you have to do, single pilot operation of this airplane, and it has to be done sequentially and in order and on time. It makes it very hard to stream and be interactive until I get to cruise. So I would consider the KingAir a excellent airplane to fly, not an excellent airplane to stream just because of the workload. But thank you for sticking with me and hanging out with me. And we got a massive gifted sub-dono, Mike P. Thank you so much, man, for gifting 10 more additional memberships to the channel, guys. If you picked up a membership from Mike P, give him a Kawatamundi salute. The salute that you see in chat, you may be wondering what that is. What is it? The Kawatamundi is an actual, is it a marsupial? No, I don't know. It's a mammal, a native of to Mexico or South America. And I was actually saluted by one. I told that story on a podcast. You have to listen to it. Check out the View and After Dark content. But thank you, Mike P. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the support. That's a massive subscription donor. Can't thank you enough, dude. Gustavo says, I'm having flashbacks of my C90 time. Exactly, Gustavo. It sure brings you back, man. This airplane, with this latest update, I feel like it's done really well. They've actually done a really good job with it, and I'm enjoying it quite a lot. And with the FTsim, it really brings it back. What is shock cooling? Jeremy, shock cooling is something that will happen in piston engines when they are turbocharged. And I say when they are turbocharged, it doesn't necessarily only have to be turbocharged, but generally speaking, that applies to a turbocharged piston engine. And what is happening is the turbo at cruise is working so hard. Well, not necessarily so hard, but it is working. It's creating heat, right? So the heat that is produced needs to be cooled, because if you don't cool it properly, what happens to metals when you rapidly heat them and cool them? They are prone to becoming very brittle. So you could actually crack a crankcase, or you could crack your turbo. That would be what you shock cool the engine, and you could damage the internal components of the engine. So on the Chieftains that I would fly for the same cargo company at night, you could actually see the turbo glow. You can actually see the turbo glow from inside the vent, kind of like these vents right here on the KingAir, but this isn't, it's not a turbocharged, this is a turbo prop, but you would actually see it glowing. So you can imagine you're at cruise power for a long time, and then if you were to just bring the power right to idle and start a descent, what are you doing? You are extremely cooling that engine, because not only are you not requesting power demand, but you're now putting increased airflow over it at less power. So kind of a double whammy of no-nos there. So it could cool it rapidly, and it could cause damage. So that's why you have to what we do call stage cooling. So stage cooling means you inadvertently bring the power back about 2 inches every 3 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever it was, and you have to account for that in a descent. So one of the funny things that we would kind of joke about when we were flying turboprops and pistons is the KingAirs were actually the easiest to fly over the Piper Chieftain and Navajo, because there is no shock cooling in the PT6. If you bring the power to idle on a KingAir, you go to flight idle, props full forward, it is scary how fast these airplanes come down. And if that's not scary enough, if you do it in a Beech 99 with a cargo pod, a big extra thing of drag underneath here, literally, Jeremy, I went to flight idle, I think maybe 3 times when I was flying the 99 and full forward on the prop just to see. It was scary how fast the airplane would descend without accelerating. I mean, the VSI is pegged over 6,000 feet a minute. You're coming down, and you're not accelerating. So, and then you, of course, when you bring that power back in, you got to let those engines spool up. So it is, it's an incredible airplane. It's an incredible design. These free-floating turbines here on the PT6. You don't have to worry about shock cooling. So if you have to do a descent, boom, power to idle, and this sucker's coming down. You can dive and drive pretty much any clearance air traffic control can give you. Whereas the Chieftain, it was a little bit more. You had to plan for that. Vodka's asking about the clouds. Vodka, yeah, we are going to actually have to shoot the ILS into Arcata now. So let's take a look here. We're about 40 miles out. Let's do an intermediate descent. Let's go ahead and drop down to 10,000 feet. So here we would actually have to pick up an IFR clearance. So basically what would happen if you can't get into Arcata right now, call up the center, the Oakland Center, Amfly 202, requesting a pop-up IFR to Arcata. Amfly 202, Roger, Squawk 2176, whatever it is. Descend and maintain 10,000, and you want to shoot the ILS into Arcata this morning? That's affirmative, Amfly 202. We're present position direct Arcata, and we'll do the ILS. All right, so 10,000 is set. What we're going to do is we're going to do outsell. Oh, no, I didn't even do that. IAS hold. So we're doing a speed hold now at 220, and I'm going to bring the power back. Oh, before we do that, remember, prop sync. This is why they were all broken. Prop sync is coming off. And let's bring our torque back to about 50%. And you can see the airplane picks up a nice descent. So we're 36 miles out. Let's go ahead and catch up to it here. Let's go ahead and bring our even more power back. Let's try about 40%. We're really going to start coming down now. Infinite says he has a good question. Where was that? Oh, hi, Captain. Just a bit off topic. Want to get your opinion about simulator. Been watching a while. Not sure between 12, Microsoft, Infinite. Hey, man, fly whatever sim you think is better to you. That's all I'm going to say about it, man. Whatever sim you prefer, fly it, because they're all fantastic. I personally think Microsoft Flight Simulator is the next gen sim platform, but there are a lot of great things about X-Plane 12 as well. So whatever your computer can run, maybe it's a hardware limitation, whatever sim you want to fly the most, maybe you want an airplane that's only an X-Plane 12, get X-Plane 12. But in my personal opinion, right now I'm stuck on Microsoft because I just think it is a true next-gen sim, and it just, with ortho streaming, it just makes it so enjoyable and so easy to just have a good flight. So coming back to 40%. If you have the stage cool, how do you maintain your descent path? Jeremy, you have to plan for it. So you would actually plan for your descent. So at 2 minutes, descending maybe 1,000 feet per minute, you'd actually have to add time. Basically, if my memory serves me right, we would add like 20 to 25 miles to any standard 3-to-1 descent path that we calculate. We would just add 20 to 25 off the top, depending on what altitude we were at and what altitude we were descending to. So if you calculate you need to start your descent at 21 miles, we would just add another, I think, 20 miles. So it'd be 40 miles out. You would start down because you'd be limited with that stage cooling. But what made that easy is you would use a vertical speed as your calculation. So I know I can lock in 1,000 feet per minute. Okay, 1,000 feet per minute at 2 minutes, I just went 2,000 feet. And you kind of work backwards mathematically to get your new top of descent with stage cooling. Okay, so now that I work at Airbus, must I hate Boeing? May Shook, thanks for the support, man. I saw that. That's right, you did get the job over at Airbus. That is awesome, dude. I'm happy for it. Make sure if you can, post some pictures. You may not be able to because it may be like all proprietary stuff that Airbus wants to keep sneaky breaky. But that's really cool, man. Who knows? I might be flying the airplanes that you're assembling or whatever your role is over there at the factory. So appreciate your work. And you don't have to hate Boeing, but you just have to understand that Airbus is better. All right, so look at our minimum sector altitudes here. Let's go ahead and continue this descent down to 8,000. I'm actually going to bring my props up to about 1,700 to give me just a little bit extra drag out there. I'm going to go ahead and bring the torque back even a little bit further. Let's keep coming back here. Let's go ahead and get on. Let's go ahead and I'm going to show you right here. Let's go to flight idle. Let me just show you. We're going to go flight idle. You're going to get the gear warning horn. You can silence it right here. And this is with the props back. And we are doing 3,000 feet a minute at 220 knots. We haven't accelerated at all. Pretty neat. All right, let's plan for our approach. Ingo423, thank you for the €5 donation, man. Your KingAir streams are actually my favorite. Please keep them coming. Ingo423, thank you so much, man. If you guys are enjoying this, this is a lot shorter flight than I anticipated. Maybe we'll fire up another flight in a hot environment. We'll see if we can actually ITT limit the airplane. But this is a lot shorter flight than I thought it was going to be. So, but thank you so much for your support. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. I'm loving this airplane, so I think we're going to have to do another flight. Maybe we'll fly back. Maybe we'll fly back to, like, Oakland. All right, 109.5. I'm going to put that here. Look at that. We already caught our descent. We're getting ready to level at 8,000. So we're leveling at 8,000. Now with the power at flight idle, be careful because look at your speed's going to drop off and you need those props to spin back up. So As we level here, there's our alt alert. I'm actually going to continue to decelerate. We got our 109.5 there. Let's put 109.5 in the active nav2. And I'll show you how we used to get into Eureka. 109.5 is active. Looks like we just picked it up, which is good. So now I wish we could have a vector, but our inbound course is 316. John 316. There we go. 315, 316 is set. And we should be, Vomac is what, 20 miles away? So let's go into heading mode and let's actually see if we can self-vector ourselves. Self-vector. Let's go heading mode to the right. Oh, power's coming back. Let's come right, so we'll go heading about this 360 on the heading. And let's go 109.5 here. Boom. Look at that. And let's go ahead and descend to 6,000. Silence the warning horn. I'm actually going to come further right. You can see we're well above the glide slope. Oh boy, we're going to be high and fast on this one. Let's arm the approach. Get flight recorder up just in case. Let's keep coming down. Let's look at our approach. So at 13 miles on the Loke, we could go all the way down to 3,700. Let's set 3,700. Catch up to it here. 3,700 is set. I don't know if we're going to catch up to it here. Sync our heading bug. 140 knots. Let's go flaps approach. Sound coming up. We are 11 miles out at 6 thou. And we are really high. So we're going to go gear down. Autopilot off. Let's see if we can catch it. Props full forward. Arm the auto ignition. Auto feather is armed. Lights are coming on. 10 miles out of 5.6. We've got to see if we can catch it. Come on, baby. We're at 9 miles. This is what you don't want to do in real life. That's how you drive. Yeah, we're not going to catch it. We're double high on the slope. Let's see what happens here. And that's just because we have a... let's do this. So let's really go down here. Full forward, idle descent. We're 8 miles. 110 knots. Look at that. We're slowing down. I don't even want to slow down. .20 knots. That's our pretty much approach speed. A little bit of wind from the left there. A little bit of correction here. Let's correcting. Looks like our glide slope is alive. So we're catching it. I think we might actually catch it. You would not be able to. Look at that. We're below glide slope now. So now let's go ahead and level off. Power up, power up. Watch to see how quick that speed dissipates. 120 knots now. Let's get back on course. A little bit right of course, correcting. There we go. We're at 1700. Let's go ahead and level here. That's our final approach fixed altitude, I believe. And actually, I have track IR on, so let's go ahead and get that activated. Alright, so this would be one of those special VFR days where we would need special VFR to get over to Eureka. .120 knots, we're level, fully configured. Would not be able to catch that in the in an Airbus, that's for sure. Spatial disorientation, Brad. This is definitely one of those flights where you can get them coming out of the weather like this. All right, we're back on the slope. We're 120 knots. I can see the approach lights already. Looks like the runway's coming into view. Arcata traffic, Flight 202. We're on a 5-mile final for 3-3. Is it 3-3? So on a day like today, it may be a little bit hard finding Eureka. I think we would probably have to land in Arcata here. And then we'll have to have our buddy, the chieftain, come pick us up with the crew car, because I don't think we could break off and follow the coastline. So 1,000 feet here, we could go special VFR and find Eureka Airport. Let's go ahead and break it off. 1,000 feet. So let's break off the approach. Arcata traffic, Flight 202, breaking off the approach to Arcata at 1,000 feet. We're going to proceed southbound along the coast for Eureka. Arcata traffic. So we are configured to land, down to land. Now we're looking for the the Eureka Airport, which should be right off our left here. This is where you need to do what we call the iPad visual. If you have an iPad, you would be using it. So we're basically special VFR at this point. We're going to fly along the coastline here, 1,000 feet or 120 knots. The airplane is trimmed out and safe. Jason, thank you for that dono, man. Massive $20 dono. Appreciate you, dude. I don't see a chat message with it, but I appreciate the support, my friend. Thank you so much, man. All right, so we're along the coastline now. And is that a Pappy? No, that's a building. So I want to actually go altitude hold right now. Help me out here, autopilot. So we are proceeding special VFR. I think we gotta go a little bit further. And we could theoretically go flap approach gear up to save gas. This one is pretty low. Is that it right there? Is that the airport right there? This one is spicy. This is a spicy attempt here. Let's continue our heading bug to the left a little bit more. Come on, heading bug. Really? Can't turn faster than that? Jeez. Heading. We might have gone past it now. We might have gone past it. Approaching Fortuna, I think. Let's pull up our VFR map. Yep, this is real world weather, my friend. Man, we may not be able to find it today. I don't know why I can't get the VFR map up either. Let's go a little bit further. Yeah, we are definitely past it now. Yep, we tried. Oakland Center Flight 202. Go ahead, Flight 202. Yeah, we are unable Eureka at this time. Can we get an IFR clearance back to Arcata? Flight 202, roger. Turn a left, flight heading 360. Climb and maintain 4,000 vectors for Arcata. All right, 360, climb and maintain 4,000 and flight 202. So let's go power up, flaps a notch up, gear up, and we're gonna go IAS hold, just to make it easier for me. 140 in the climb out, we're climbing back up, and we're gonna join the ILS again back into Eureka, because we couldn't find, or excuse me, Arcata, we couldn't find Eureka. We couldn't find it. So, real world, that happens. Well, let's go back to our actual airport we were filed to. Not a big deal. It just means we got to wait longer at the airport for someone to come pick us up with the crew car, because the crew car is at Eureka Murray Field right here. So we're about 6 miles out. We can go about 3,200. So let's make that. Let's make it 3,500. And we'll join the ILS at 3,500. How far out are you, Team Vodka? So T's and P's are good. We're right there at the max torque. We can go ahead and bring it back a little bit now. We're leveling at 3,500. Let's go ahead and bring those props back a little bit now. 1,900. Team Vodka have actually found Eureka. I don't know how, because it is solid IFR for me right now. Let's make a little more right turn, 010. And that's why you bring extra fuel. Oh shoot, we didn't capture. Son of a gun. I didn't arm it. I'll tell you what, we'll do this. We'll go autopilot off. Get back on the approach here. Ooh, this is how you fly. You don't want to go north of the approach on this one, I'll tell you that. Let's come back to 270. Intercept the final approach. We're 140 knots. That needle does not move that fast in real life. Oh, we're only 2 miles away. Rip. This is not good. All right, let's go around. We are way too close. Going around. We'll maintain 3,500.
Arcata, KingAir, November 606 Alpha Whiskey, 5 miles for ILS 32.
Oh, he's coming in 5 miles for 22. Arcata traffic game flight 202. We're on the go. We'll recycle for Arcata. All right, we'll level at 3,500 and we'll just do it again. All right, we're at 3,500. Let's do this again. Autopilot heading out. And let's make a left turn back around. Our 99s did not have JipWhiz, Maze. They did not have JipWhiz. So you can see we are flying around in hard IFR right now. This is where, like, it's no joke. There's no joke messing around down here. You can easily kill yourself. So you got to maintain situational awareness. We're vectoring. We would be under vectors from approach right now, which would make my life a hell of a lot easier, but we don't have ATC on, so we're kind of self-vectoring. We're going to continue to climb up to 4,000, give us an extra 500 feet, and we're going to join, we'll join on downwind. Basically, we're going to make left traffic again. We'll join again over here around 12 miles at Sagu. We'll do Sagu at 12.4. So we got to fly downwind here a little bit. This livery was converted from Mateo Chui. So it's the closest thing to November 200 Alpha Fox that I could find. I think it's a South African Air Force livery. Does that sound about right? I'll tell you what, since we're still kind of like in the soup here, let's just go to 4,500. Let's get on top of it. A little more power. Wow, this is the first time we've had this on the channel where we could not find our airport. Legit could not find it. Getting ready to break through the top here. Trevor, exactly. Exactly. Alright, we'll do about 200 here on the downwind. It's a little bit fast, but that'll get us out there further. Okay, so we are, let's check our situational awareness. We are basically tracking outbound now, kind of on a canted dogwind. I'm doing that so I don't track directly over the back course because there's another KingAir on the final. So we're a little bit off. We're going to go out here at about 15 miles, and then we're going to turn around and shoot the approach again. We're leveling at 4,500 feet. T's and P's are good. Fuel is good. We've got a lot of extra gas. That's why on this particular run we would bring extra fuel. Lights are on. Everything else is still on. We do not need any engine anti-ice. The temperature's out 5. We're fine, I think. Where is the OAT in the sky?
Arcata traffic, KingAir 660 Whiskey. We are clear of all runway except Arcata.
Where is the OAT on this sucker? Am I going crazy? I'm drawing. Where the heck is the OAT?
Left door.
Oh, duh, stupid thing. It is 51. Oh yeah, so we're plenty good. Actually, 10C. It's right at the limit. It's right at the limit, but we're okay. What would the icing conditions be in those clouds? Plus 10, minus 10. So we are basically, we're pretty much in it. You could go prop ice on. Windshield heat can come on. We can do prop heat on. You would not blow the boots. So the KingAir has de-icing boots. You would not blow the boots until you actually saw visible ice accretion on the airplane. But you can see there it actually took a little bit of power away from us, which is pretty cool that it took some power away as we turned on the heaters. Alright, we are approaching 15 miles. We're going to start our turn inbound. Let's go ahead and start slowing down. And we'll commence a left turn. About 330 on the heading. Slowing to 180 knots. Actually, we'll come... we'll do 180. 180 knots in the left turn. Arcata traffic and flight 202. We are joining a 15-mile final for 32 Arcata. As we come around the Loke, we'll arm it. We don't want this auto capture just yet. We'll do about a 325 heading. Look at the mountains down there, guys. I mean, that's why it's no joke down here. It is, you could easily fly into a mountain here and kill yourself. So now we'll arm the approach. We're 170 knots. Seems to be happier at 170. That's fine. Approach is armed. 4,500 feet. We're just above the slope, or right now. So let's go ahead and cheat down to 3,700. Oh, it caught it. Ah, that's interesting. It actually caught the glide slope. Look at this. So it actually coupled up outside of the Loke. This is a no-no. In real life right here, I'm probably executing a go-around. I just want to see what happens here, though, for testing purposes. I guess it did nab it. So we started descending on the glide slope with almost full-scale deflection. That's definitely a no-no. It's definitely a no-no. I actually know someone personally who got killed. So... you gotta be careful of that. Let's go ahead and go gear down. And that's gonna be a prop warning. Reverse not ready. That's because we're at 1900 RPM. That's normal. Coming back to 100 and we'll do 140 knots. Here comes our final approach fix. We'll go full flaps. Keep coming down to 120, be about our final approach speed. All right, here comes our final approach speed. Get a little bit of power in there. Now, depending on your SOP, you may be landing with full forward props. For us, we actually landed with them at between 1900 RPM and 1800 RPM. So our basically the first thing you did on touchdown was props full forward and then reverse. Now the 350 and the 200 actually have that reverse not ready light come on. And that just had to do with the amount of drag. Basically, when you go full forward on the prop, it's very, very loud, obnoxious, hard on the engines, hard on the fuel. That was just our SOP. Alright, so we should be getting a turn here to join final. Looks like we got a nice little wind too out of the north. It's actually starting to clear up. I'm almost tempted to make another shot for Eureka. We're getting ready to go. I cannot tell you how realistic this weather looks right now, guys. This is insane. All right, so we're actually we're actually on the final now. Look at this wind. This is our ground. Is this our track diamond? Definitely got a little bit of a wind situation going on here. Let's hit the B key. Make sure we do have proper baro. 2998 is set. Yeah, this plane is awesome, Brad. I'm having a ton of fun with it. All right, so it is catching it now. We're 7 miles. Oh yeah, it's actually clearing up a little bit. So Eureka is... Gosh, that's right about there. After doing one failed attempt, I'm not going to do a second. But I'm really tempted. Really tempted. We got a nice little crab here, about 15 degrees. Jeez. Velociraptor, I see that, man. How did you manage to keep the warning sounds? I lost them when I installed the FSprojects pack. Mateo, I have no idea. I didn't do anything special. I just did, maybe you didn't, did you edit the JSON file? Because that's all I did, and I haven't done anything special. What is the METAR down here? What is this? Oh no. Oh, checklist? Oh, that's right, it has a checklist. No, I don't want that. I want the weather. I can see the runway now. What is Eureka showing? No. What about ACV? There it is. Wind calm, 4 miles haze. I mean, Eureka is like right over there. It's like right there. I don't know. We'll land Arcata. It's fine. All right, runway's in sight. Let's go ahead and start the recording. Now I need to bind my autopilot disengage because apparently I don't have it bound, which is kind of weird. All right, runway's in sight. Let's go ahead and do this. Autopilot's coming off. I'm sitting really close to the panel for some reason. Uh-oh. Don't mess with it. It helps if you set the final approach course. The wind is calm. My final approach course was not set, but the airplane was still tracking the localizer. Interesting. A little bit low glide slope correcting. One white, a little bit low correcting. This is such a shallow ILS. Whoa. There, we're back on the Pappies now. Now we can start working that power out. Props full forward. Reverse. We'll come out of it. We'll do a 180 on the runway. Drop the left one into reverse. And we'll exit at Alpha. Whew. That actually got me. This was supposed to be a nice, relaxing flight. That actually got me a little concerned there when we had to go missed. Let's pop the windows. Clearing the runway. Ignition's off. This is still technically a runway, but it's closed. We'll do landing lights off, ice light off, strobe light off. We'll keep the tail flood on. We'll do the recogs off. We'll get our heaters off. We'll get our environmentals off, turn the furnace off. We actually had to run the blower for a certain amount of time so you could cool it down. But I'm just going to turn it off. We'll taxi it down one more here. Those are all off. And we'll clean it up. Flaps up, trim reset to 0. Oh, we'll take a look at that replay. God, the sounds though. Look at this in the back, huh? Man. Well done, Free Captain. Thank you, Brian Harris. Thank you, Brian Harris. Feet per minute, definitely faulty. What did it say? 242? I don't believe that. I don't know. It seems like all my landings are always 230 or 240. It seems faulty, but that doesn't really matter. Alright, this is the best part about turbopropping. Once we get cleared in the ramp, we'll go ahead and turn our avionics masters off. We'll turn our taxi light off. We'll turn our inverters off. And then we'll ghost ride the whip. I actually have a video of allegedly, maybe, possibly myself. I don't know. I have a video of a turboprop ghost riding into the parking spot. It's pretty cool. I don't know who it was or who did it, but all right, avionics is off. We'll go ahead and pull in here. Idle cutoff. And then through, I think it was like I can't remember what RPM. We'll feather the props. Oh, why did that drop into reverse? That's weird. Feather 1, 2. Clear that. Brakes are set. And then we can go generators and battery. Well, we'll go beacon light off first. Oh, that's bound. And then we'll do this right here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Arcada. How was that? ILS have one course, and it doesn't matter if you select the wrong course, they'll intercept as always. Correct, Christian. You're absolutely correct. That's why, though, I thought we had like some crazy wind up here, because I was like, why is this needle way off? I never set the final approach course for the ILS. The ILS approach course was like, what was it? I don't even know, like 3-1 or something. I hate this stupid. I really need a tablet in here. We need like a proper tablet to pop up, like Navigraph, or just this whole interface needs to change. It's laggy, it's buggy. I personally hate it. I wish we could have a different thing in here. But so the final approach course was 316. We still had 330 tuned in, so that's why that needle looked way off. But the airplane did it absolutely correctly. It actually captured the course. It descended on the slope. It did everything correctly. That was a pilot error moment there. Get caught up in the task saturation. You know, I'm streaming. I'm talking to you guys. Didn't fully brief the approach. You know, I thought we were going to come in here full VFR and just break off and land at Eureka. Turns out we couldn't do that. Look at the clouds in the background, though, huh? How freaking awesome is this? Would you do a flight from Johannesburg to Cape Town with the Phoenix about 2 hours on a later date? Absolutely. We're definitely going to do some Cape Town, Johannesburg flying for sure. Let's take a look at the replay though. Let's see what happened. Let's go straight into replay mode. Oh, let's close that. Let's close that. Let me disconnect from FSprojects for a minute. Let's see how we did here. Oh, I probably should have at least like turned this stuff back on, huh? There we go. Seems like it's doing everything fine. I gotta hand it to the Blacksquare guys. I mean, pretty native replay too. I mean, all I did is hit replay and here we go. We're in it. So let's watch this approach. It's only 2:30. You guys want to do a second leg, maybe? I kind of want to do a second leg. I kind of just want to do something. The weather is so nice here. Maybe we should fly back to the Bay Area. Should we do a little bit longer flight where we can kind of relax, go to Oakland, or should we reposition somewhere else in the U.S.? This weather is so juicy right here. I'm running TAA, Calvin. I'm running TAA for cloud settings right now. They're on Ultra, but I'm using all TAA. Vacaville, VCB. I just think coming into the bay would be kind of fun. Head north. Do I have any good airports? I don't know if I have a... Where could we go northbound? Let's look at this replay though. This is so juicy. This view right here, man. This big old PT6 hanging off. SKPS. Oh, in South America. Ruben says goodbye. Our country has load shedding in a few moments. Take it easy, man, Ruben. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. See how we did. Work it out. A little bit slow on the power reduction. A little bit of a plopper. Maybe it was a 233. Right on center line, though. Gosh, I love that, though. I love that. Let's go back a little bit more. Let's go, like, right here, and then let's go drone cam. And let's go to the runway down here. Let's do a little flyby view. Why we think where we need to go next. We got to do a second layup. Should we take off out of here? Should we just go, where could we go? That's got good scenery. I got to think. LA is too far, but I feel like I just don't want to stop flying this airplane yet. All right, here we go. Let's detach from the airplane and resume replay. Here it comes. Monterey? Ooh. Let's go south to Monterey. Yeah, it won't take long. We can go to Monterey. I like Monterey. Feels like my replay is on extra fast speed. What's up with that? It was almost like we were time accelerated. Mount Shasta? Ooh. Oh. I couldn't get there fast enough. Pretty nice, though. Oh yeah, DCS where it just crashes the replay. Let me take a look here on SkyVector. Let me see where we can go. Let me look on SkyVector here where you're watching that. We are in ACV. To Monterey. 284 miles. That's not bad. Or we could go right into... Yeah, let's go to Monterey. I like that. Man, I wish I had Pilot Edge installed. We could just go from there. we're going to actually need to do a flight plan for this, or should we just do some GPSing? To get us started, though, why don't we just go direct to... We'll take the 136 VOR to VOR nav. Ooh, Napa. Where's Napa at? Let me see how far Napa would be. Napa County is only 186. I have flown into Napa County before. Santa Monica, John Wayne. All right, let's plan for Monterey, because I kind of like that idea of flying right along the Golden Gate Bridge. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? We can see the Golden Gate Bridge in San Fran. So let's do that. I like that flight plan you got there, Team Vodka. ACV, Fortuna, and Endocino. So basically we're going straight to Fortuna on departure, which is going to be 114.0, and then we'll take the 151 outbound and figure it out from there. So I like that. I like it. Let's stay West Coast. We'll do, actually, I'm going to just let the replay go all the way to the end. Stop replay. Actually, stop. No, let's do this. So let's end. We'll just do this. We'll go end flight. Boom, boom, and we'll do, we'll go right down the West Coast, because that'd be kind of cool. I think it's going to clear up. These clouds are going to clear up as we go a little bit further south, so it could make for some really scenic stuff. I would go to John Wayne, a little bit far, Gustavo. Infinite, it is the South African flag, I believe. This is the South African Air Force livery. But like I showed earlier, 200 Alpha Fox was a KingAir 200. Very, 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 very similar paint job. So that's why I'm running it. And Matteo Chui actually reset it so to be Blacksquare compatible. Awesome. We'll just go right where we parked, just a little bit further to the right. Spot 17. We're going to load in. Here we go. On your company's SOP is dual fuel quantity indicator failure and automatic diversion. I'd have to check, Baze. An FQ, probably. I don't think I've ever heard of that happening in the Airbus. Fuel quantity indicator having all fail. But that's not quite sure about that one. What's the METAR in Monterey? Is it not very good? I thought it was going to be good. All right, we're going to reconnect. And so now that you guys know the flows and we've done, oh, look, our props are properly set up. So now that you guys know how we do this, it should be really easy and we can just fire up and get out of here. So let's go ahead and hide the yoke, get to our airplane. We've had a nice overnight here. We'll get the battery switch on. We'll get that on. The nav light is on. Clear the cautions. How's everything looking? Let's make sure we have proper fuel, which it looks like we're about 50%. I think we had like 63% before. Let's take a little bit more cargo, shall we? Let's say we picked up some cargo here, about 55% load. We'll do 60. We'll do 60% load, 50% fuel. That looks good. We need to go to Fortuna VOR, which is 114.0. So we'll dial in 114.0. We'll put that in the active. And then off of Fortuna, we need to fly the 151 radial. So we'll set course 151. On departure, we're making a left turn out, about 260 to get us started. That is good. Our cruise altitude is going to be, let's go right at 16, let's do 15.5. I think we're going to be slightly eastbound. We'll do 15.5. That is set. And everything else, engines conditions look good. Everything else, we've got 14.0. We'll put 122.8 back in the top. That is set. And now we'll go ahead and master switch off. Let's go ahead and fire it up and go. Simple as that. We'll do everything else on the climb out. So here we go. Pumps are off. Everything looks good. Idle forward cutoff down here. That is proper. Prop levers are clear. The external power is flashing because this is available, but we're not using it here. We're going to do another battery start today. So everything else looks good. We'll go beacon light on. I don't know why our props come full flat like that. I don't know why it does that. Shouldn't do that. Let's go ahead and turn 2. %, low idle. %, starter cutoff. Stable, 60%. High idle. Fuel flow increase, RPM is coming out. 1000 RPM, we'll go Gen 2, reset on. Check the volts. Battery is 28.5. Now we actually used to have like ammeter and everything to check up here, but we can't get that for some reason. And we got a good start on number 2. Let's go ahead and turn 1. Monitoring the start. 12%. Stable above, low idle. Light off. ITT below the limits. It is. Everything is on the rise. ITT roll back. 50% starter cutout. Stable 60. Reset on. Low idle. Let's go inverters. 1, 2. Let's go environmental off for takeoff. That is set. We'll go oxygen on. Rudder boost, electric trim. Left window. Right window. Oh, missed the avionics master. We're going up to 15.5. Let's check pressurization. Can you use the right gen to start to left? Yeah, that's what we did. We used the right generator to start the left. Yeah, RC Flyer, that is a little aggressive. 15.5 is set. The ITT does rise quite fast. He's going to depart left downwind. We're going back to on. That's fine. Can I do a map ground? I guess I can. That looks fine. And we are basically ready to go. Now, get a traffic on flight 202. We're going to taxi 32. Let's do brakes release. Taxi light on. Let's go. Afternoon, Anthony 2. What's going on, man? It says, just got the flight sim project site sec, Thrustmaster base. Autopilot keeps kicking off. Yeah, I've put in a null zone when calibrating. First and foremost, make sure you don't have any ghost binding first. Make sure you don't have an autopilot binding there. As far as null zone goes, you shouldn't need to, but you might, because Phoenix has recently changed how the flight control surfaces are, so you might want to just double check, and if you need a null zone, maybe throw one in at like 2% or something, just to make sure that that's not the issue. I have not heard of that happening, but that's where I would start. I would first check for any ghost bindings. I'm gonna get these lights on. These don't seem to work. I wish I could backlight the. Oh, they seem to. Now they're lit up a little bit better. I wish these would get a little bit brighter. All right, there's nobody out there, is there? Nope. Let's go. Get a traffic in flight 202, departing runway 32, left crosswind departure. All right, so we already did our run-ups on the first flights of the day, so let's go ahead and start from the left. We'll go auto feather arm, auto ignition, 1, 2, that's coming on, that's coming on, that's coming on, that's coming on, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Override. do it. We all know how to set power now. We're going to do a left crosswind about 260 on departure. So power it up. Let those props stabilize on the governor. And here we go. Set takeoff power. Auto feather armed. Airspeed's alive. Torque set. 100 knots. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Fly width. Freaking sweet. A little bit low for an IFR turn, but let's keep her turning. We're going all the way to Fortuna. Let's turn the sound down a little bit. Watching our torques and temps. Torques and temps. Direct 2 Fortuna is about 175, so we'll just keep coming left. .140 knots in the climb out. We're going to use this to punch through this layer here. .160 knots. Let's go ahead and start reducing power a little bit. Bring it back to about 90%, 92%-ish. Let's bring our props back 1900. There we go. Ooh, lower the nose there. Maybe a wind shift or something there. Power set 90, 1900. We're going direct to Fortuna. I'll tell you what, let's make life easy. Let's go autopilot, yaw damper, IAS hold, heading. And we're going to get up to altitude quickly. So we are only, let's see, 17 miles from the Fortuna VOR. 160 knots, 4.5. We're looking good. Look at that breakout, though. How juicy is that? I forgot to reset this as well here. KACV to KMRY. Hopefully that'll reload there. All right, as we're climbing out, we're doing 150 knots. We'll monitor our torques and temps. Looks like we can get a little bit more power out of it. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and get a little bit more torque in there. Let's get up there. Let's not dilly-dally. I missed the left wing drop of the shear of the PT6 on the C90. Too much fun. Oh, yeah. It's I gotta say this, Gustav. I've been pretty impressed with this latest update on this airplane. It's pretty good. It's not Airfoil Labs by any means, but I'm really enjoying it. It scratches the itch for me. It really does. I mean, look at that. Just love it. All right, we are 13 miles from the VOR now, so we could. Just gonna stay in heading mode. Keep bumping that torque up there, about 98%. Things are looking good. We are climbing like a banshee. Look at that. I think that's actually the other KingAir right there. Oh my, screenshot. Look at that view. RC Flyer, I agree with you, man. Never gets old. Look at the alternating recogs. It's so cool. All right, as we approach 10,000 feet, I'm going to actually lower... Oh, that's going the opposite direction. Let's go ahead and increase our climb speed. Tell you what, I'll do this. I'll go IAS off. I'm curious. No, climb profile will keep us pretty fat, or pretty hot, steep. I'm gonna lower the nose here, just a tad. Give us a little bit more power there. I want to do like 160-ish. That's fine enough. Whatever. We'll go IAS hold right there. Close enough. We're out of 10,000 feet. We'll go auto ignition is off. Auto feather is off. The lights are coming off. So we just got nav, strobe, beacon. Our heaters are on. Our hot 5. Everything else looks good. We'll clear the caution for the auto feather. 15.5. We are indeed pressurizing. That is good. Let's go ahead and get the environmental on. And we can go aft blower, electric heat, and we are in auto. And we'll increase the temps a little bit. There we go. Nice and comfortable, nice and cozy for the passengers. We have not passed over Fortuna yet, but we want to fly the 151. So we're going to be making a left turn here momentarily in 6 miles. Wow, we're basically in formation. And look at your right wing.
See you there.
That's pretty cool. We're actually in formation, just about. There's our altitude alerter. So 1,000 feet to go. Is electric heat just for warming the plane in winter on ground for the passengers? Yes. But it seems to work with this light over here, this cabin temp light, so we have the electric heater on. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember this one. This might be a 350 thing. All right, we're leveling off at 15.5. As we level off here, let's set our power. We'll do 85-ish there. Let's bring our props back. It's going to increase our torque. What's a good cruise altitude? You could take it up into the low flight levels. But for these shorter flights, we're actually VFR right now at 15.5. So this is a pretty low inefficient altitude for this airplane. But you could take this 350 up into the flight levels for sure. Tyson, what's up, man? Can't believe my employer thinks I should leave a view on stream just for stupid meetings. Hey, man, we all got to do what we got to do, right? Appreciate you being here, though. All right, so we've passed over the VOR. Let's set course 151. Which just happens to be pretty much bang on, and then we'll go nav. And when do you use prop sync? In cruise. That's when we did it. So always help it out too. So here, as the airplane kind of stabilizes, I'm going to manually sync my props. You see the little prop spinner down there, the synchro phaser. I'm going to get it to stop manually. Right about there. Boom. So I've got it manually synced. You guys are all obsessed with the prop sync, but we'll turn it on now. Prop sync is on. We're going to cruise 220 knots at 15.5. We're tracking the 151 outbound. Beautiful. Light C90 GTI could make 310. Wow. The 350 can go 350. Oh, wow. Yeah, so it can definitely get up there. And that's, you know, that's being able to take these turboprops up to that altitude. You really get to take advantage of the jet stream. You get above a lot of the clouds that a lot of people have to deal with that aren't pressurized. But these pressurized high performance airplanes, I mean, they are pretty capable in what they can accomplish for sure. So let's pull out our JEPs here and let's actually kind of look at the additional flight planning here. So we said we're going to take care of the rest en route. So we're 15.5 on the Fortuna VOR. Let's import a new flight plan here. Let's just do a manual input as we're just VFR today. We took off from ACV and we are flying to Monterey. That works. We'll do hit create. And what was our route? Let's go type route. Let's clear that out. No, I don't know if I saved it. I think it was Fortuna, ENI. Was there a fix after ENI? It had to be. Oh, destination can't be in there. Cool. Your origin. Oh, it's just once the en route airports. All right, cool. Done. Oh, PYE. Done. What? Really? Dude, this is what I'm talking about. This thing is so stupid. All right, let's go. I don't want to do that. And the zoom is all out of whack. I don't want. Oh my gosh! See, look at that. So annoying. All right, I'm done with you. I'm gonna use SkyVector. Navigraph. That's Navigraph integration thing is just dumb. Just dumb. And look, now it's. I think it actually broke my sim. Are you serious? I have no mouse in the sim now. What is going on? Oh, the keyboard is active. Great. So now I can't even, it doesn't register any key inputs. Are you kidding me? Nothing. I can't change views. I can't do anything. I can use my track IR. Alt tab maybe? Go back to flight sim. Yeah, I can alt tab around, but once I'm in the sim, I can't actually do anything. Well, that's gonna really make me rage quit. Y for slew? I'm not in slew mode. Am I in slew mode? No. Not slewable. Great. The sim is not frozen, but my view is frozen. I'm just trying to see if I can... Wow. So that's gonna pretty much do it. I will never use that stupid Navigraph app again. Because my view is locked. We're literally locked here. Oh, I can turn that standby pump. Try selecting another view from the top menu. Uh-oh. Well, now I really did it. Now I can't even get my mouse cursor back. Really? Really? Well, now we're dead in the water. I can't go outside. I can't go to drone cam. I can't do anything because I'm in free look. So now my actual mouse cursor is gone. What was that camera control? Let me make sure this is my last attempt here. Jeff L, it's about to be an Alt F4. I tell you what, it's about to be an Alt F4, my friend. It is about to be an Alt F4. So is there a key binding to change between reset cockpit view as control space or F? What I'm trying to do is toggle the views. Next, fixed camera, previous, Shift A, let's see. Nothing. We're locked in. We are locked in. N key, Gustavo says. Nothing on the N key. I can't even go direct to my, none of my key binds work. My devices aren't even registering. So like my power, I can't change the power setting. Nothing. Shift 4, nothing. Insert or end, nothing. Bind a joystick key to reset view. Oh, we can try that. But see, no, joystick won't work though because my joystick is not inputting any actions. Like nothing is putting in any actions. Let me try. I had the same problem. I gave up, restarted flight on world map roughly where the game crashed. Unplug and try again. Check if home cockpit option is off in the camera menu in the settings. Nah, that has nothing to do with it, I don't think. Let me just try. Talk about cockpit free look. No. Let me do this. Cockpit camera. Control space. Nothing. Dead. We're dead. I'm gonna unplug and replug. Nothing. Dead in the water. Dunskies. Well, nah, this is not Microsoft. This is Navigraph. This is what happens. I'm gonna take a moment here to get pissed. So this is what happens when companies just try to port shit. Okay, Navigraph, it has the same exact user interface that X-Plane 11 had, the 12, the non-app version. Okay, the tablet version where we use AviTab with Navigraph in X-Plane was wonderful. But these developers get lazy and they just want to copy and paste stuff, and you have essentially the same exact shitty interface for the non-tablet version in Microsoft. And then it creates bugs and creates issues. And airplanes that don't have iPads, like the KingAir, which I'm glad it doesn't have an iPad in the cockpit, but I wish we had an AviTab type of tablet that you could toggle on and on, very similar to how we did in X-Plane. But it's lazy dev work that pisses me off, and that's what they just literally copy and pasted it, got it to work, but it's so glitchy. It doesn't hold your pin charts. It's just, I don't know. So using that has borked this flight, unfortunately. But yeah, that's it. We are dead in the water. So I will probably gonna call it right there, folks. I don't have anything else. I don't even have a mouse icon now for like my other tablet. Isn't that crazy? Like whenever I have to alt tab out, yeah, it is so borked. I tried control space, man. Control space isn't it. It is what it is. I would love these in older birds if AviTab was a massive book of paper checklists and charts. No, it's not paused. It's just dead in the water, man. So that's it. And you know what I got to say about that is left alt F4. Goodbye. So I'm going to end it there, guys. Sorry we had to end on that bad note, but we'll probably be back later on this week. I'll probably do, as much as I love flying the KingAir, it's not a good streaming airplane. It's just really not. So I'm probably not going to be streaming the KingAir anymore, or any other high workload airplane, because they're not good streaming airplanes. I can't be interactive with you guys. I can't bring the content to a standard that I kind of have set for myself that I want to. It's too much airplane to fly. It's great for off-stream flying, great for flying with friends. It's a wonderful airplane to fly. I really think Blacksquare did a good job on their latest update, and the FTsim sound pack I highly, highly, highly recommend. Just stay away from that stupid Navigraph in-game app. I'm done with that. So do you have all the sounds with the FTsim sound pack? Yes, Pilot Boy. So if you go to the FTsim website, it has a Patreon. I believe it's $5 to sign up for the month or whatever it is. You can sign up, you can download it, then you can unsubscribe. I've been subscribed to him for years. I think I'm done subscribing, but I actually resubscribed just to get this sound pack, and it was well worth it. I mean, best $5 I think I've spent on a sound pack. So I highly recommend that. I hope you guys at least enjoyed the first leg. Maze, have a good day, my friend. You guys have a good one. I am out of here myself. I will catch y'all probably, we might do another Airbus stream. We're going to do another Airbus stream probably, I don't know if I can do it tomorrow. We'll see. Either tomorrow or Wednesday, and then, or tomorrow is Wednesday. Oh no. Yeah, Wednesday. Probably Wednesday. And then we might actually try the Mad Dog. Speaking of lazy developers, we might actually fire up the Leonardo Mad Dog. So, all right, guys. Have a good one. I'm out of here. I will see you on the next live stream. Peace.